In the focusing mode on the Digital Rebel, and I'll show you basically the way it typically works, would be like this. If I'm going to shoot something, it's going to pick the focusing points for me. So right there it picked that one, but if I go down here it will then say, I think now I want to focus on the knobs. The part that's a real bear with this is that on a typical situation, it's going to figure out what you want to focus on. Like now it wants the knobs. Well, maybe I don't want that knob. Maybe I want that knob in focus, and it's just not going to find it. It's going to, well, right there it did, but you'll see it's not in focus. And it's real bare. Now it says, oh, do you want these buttons instead? So say, for example, that I wanted focus on this chord and have everything else blur out, which would, maybe be some kind of like thing. Now that actually work. I'd have to focus and recompose. But again, you'll see that it randomly picks the focus point. And that's not why we got into digital photography. We want to be able to pick whatever we want to be in focus and everything else go blurry. So what I'm going to do is, you'll see here I'm on the fourth menu, and I'm going to go down to autofocus. And instead of that L plus tracking, I'm going to go down here, not multi-zone, but single. Single allows me to pick one spot, and I can move this spot anywhere I want to go. But whatever I focus on in that spot, whatever I put in that spot, it will focus on, and then if I hold it down while that green button is there, it will then keep that thing in focus. So for example, let me come in really tight here. Let's just say I wanted to do a cool shot of that knob right there, and I wanted to just kind of have something kind of cool like that. Okay, so I can do that now because I've focused and recropped. Now also, it's real handy to just go ahead and put this in the center because that's the fastest. Then I can just kind of go, okay, anything I put in the center, now I'm going to recrop. So if you're doing portraiture, you might want to put this on the eyeballs and then recrop it, because God knows it's going to pick if you allow it to pick the spot. And in wedding photography, that's a real problem, because if you have a bride with a bouquet, it might put the bouquet in focus and the bride's eyes are out of focus. That's one of the most common problems with focusing techniques on these little smaller digital cameras. So let's go ahead and focus on that knob right there, and then you'll see now that I can just go boom like that and take the picture.